Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel IBDP with Oyon, and I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the exam strategy notes about the IB economics exam papers. So before jumping into the exam papers and knowing all the papers, we have to know about few key themes. So firstly, time management. Not only this exam, but in all the exams, time management is one of the most important things. Secondly, we should have a clear structure. A clear structure because when you write an answer in the exam, you should not write randomly. Your answer should always focus on clear order so the examiner can easily understand it. Instead of writing everything mixed, like a bad structure which can be writing ideas randomly or no paragraphs or no clear explanation, we should not do that. Now let's jump into the paper 1 section. Our paper 1 is 1 hour and 15 minutes, and this is actually a easy paper because there will be 3 questions, and out of those 3 questions we have to choose only one question and we have to only answer that one. And in that question there will be two parts, part A and part B. So part A worth 10 marks and part B worth 15 marks. Let's dive into part A, the 10 marks question. For this we mainly need the explanation. They might ask about our economic topics, so based on that topic we have to explain that topic, and the main goal is to show the clear understanding that are you familiar with the topic or not, and this is totally based on our economics theory. In part A question we should not write a evaluation or a conclusion. We should only focus on the explanation and the depth of the concept. A suggested structure for part A 10 marks question is always start by defining the important key terms, like whatever it is written, whatever economic theory concept that there is written, the terminologies. Explaining the key terms can be inflation and market failure or price elasticity. And in part A 10 marks question, there should be two clear analysis paragraph explaining the theory, and we have to at least draw one diagram which is relevant to the concept. The diagram tips. Okay, so now here it comes the diagram tip. Firstly, diagram should be large enough so it is easy to read. At least the examiner can understand after seeing the diagram. They should be able to understand. And it is quite appreciable that if we use a pencil, and ruler is a must because we should make the diagram clear and there should be no random lines. The most important things in the diagram is leveling because that is the most crucial part. Which line belongs to which part, we should always level the diagrams. And while explaining the question and while writing the answer, we should always refer it with the diagram. Here is an example given. We can draw the diagram, and I think it would be better if I explain it to you guys. Here it is mentioned that there is a shift from D1 to D2. So let's do this. Firstly, we need to know that why there is a shift in D1 curve. So for shift in D1 curve, if there is a shift in curve, that means it will either go leftward or rightward. And this is the original curve. This is for supply. And for demand, this is the original curve, and it is a leftward shift, and this is a rightward shift. So here in the question it was mentioned that there is a shift from D1 to D2. So if the original curve, so the original curve is D1, and if there is a rightward shift, then we can give it as D2. So we can see there is a shift. So this is basically a shift in demand curve. Now the part B 15 marks question. Remember that part B, the 15 marks question, is the most important part in paper 1. So we have to spend the most amount of time in here. And our main goal is to discuss the issue, and we have to give a final judgment. Now let's focus on the structure of the 15 marker. We have to start with clear definition and the key term, and then we have to give 3 perfect analysis depending on the question, a structural answer. And if the question is asking for advantages or disadvantages, then we have to structure it like either 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage, or 1 advantage or 2 disadvantages. And then we have to always give a real world example. It must be included in every paragraph, and there are a few examples like real countries or industries or government policies. And I think this is extremely important for getting higher marks in paper 1. And lastly, evaluation section. So we have to evaluate our analysis and discuss the possible limitations and also the cost and policies, and we have to give a final judgment. Remember that judgment is not a summary. Judgment is a clear decision that which argument is stronger, and explain why this argument is also stronger. We have to also explain this in the final judgment. Now let's focus on paper 2, the data response question. Another important thing is paper 1 and paper 2 is for SL, and paper 1, 2 and 3 of the paper is for HL. So SL students are going to sit for 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, and HL students are going to sit for all 3 papers. So in the paper 2 data responses, there will be given 2 options, optional questions, and we have to choose one question out of those 2 options. And as I already said that paper 2 include extracts, charts and tables, so we have to analyze it properly. The most important rule for is always use the information from the extract, because the main data is given in the extract, and what are we going to answer is also related to the extract. So always read it carefully. The question type in paper 2 is there is 2 mark questions usually asked for the definition, like define the term, and this part the 2 marks are quick, we have to give it quick answer. There are 4 marks question usually requires a short explanation, and also the 4 marks question we have to give one diagram. We should always refer to a data from the extract when answering. As I already said that the datas are already given in the extracts, so while answering we have to relate it with the extract and refer it from the extract. Now the 15 marks question in paper 2. The structure is almost the same as 15 marks question in paper 1. Definition, analysis and evaluation, and a final clear judgment. We explained this paper in paper 1 part, so the 15 marks question of paper 2 is same as paper 1. Now for HL students, there is paper 3, and The main focus of paper 3 is calculations and policy recommendations. We must answer both questions, all of the question which is given, and the time for paper 3 is 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is also the time for paper 2, 1 hour and 45 minutes. These are the important calculation topics. So mainly the exam question, the main calculation parts are this: the price elasticity of demand, like, so all the calculation is really important. We need to know all the calculations. And one important rule for full marks is we should always show our working. In paper 3, we should always show all the steps that we did. We should write the formulas like PED formula and others, and substitute the numbers. Always show how we are getting the answer by using the number, and write the final answer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you.